All right.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for listening.
Howdy.
Howdy. Howdy, y'all. Howdy, how.
Yeehaw.
Howdy, how. My name is Kaylee,
My name's Logan.
and we don't know what we're doing. And we made this podcast because, nobody knows what you're doing. No one knows what they're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're not alone. We're all in this together. And if we didn't know what we were doing, if we didn't have all the answers, we wouldn't have a podcast. So I'll take that trade offer any day. So we are in late January. We are still in the throes of award show season. It never ends.
It never ends.
Oh my gosh, it never ends. I have to look up the date when the Emmys were.
They were early January, I think, right?
I think so. Emmys 24.
Early to mid January.
I think January 15th. Yeah, the 15th.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And the Oscars aren't even until like March.
Oh my, the Oscars aren't until March.
Yeah, March 10th.
Oh wait, yeah, there it is. I see it now. Honoring movies.
Yeah.
Released in 2023.
Wow.
And I think the thing that kind of bugs me most about the Oscars this year is how I'm prefacing this by saying I'm not a big movie goer. I don't watch a lot of new movies, and I don't really follow a lot of like I didn't see Barbie or Oppenheimer because I just was not interested in seeing a movie. But the thing that does bug the heck out of me is that Margot Robbie didn't get nominated for actress in a leading role, but stupid. What's his? Wait. I think I'm wrong.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, wasn't he nominated for something? Yeah. I see it.
Yeah, he was nominated for lead actor.
He's actor in a supporting role. That's what threw me off. I thought he was actor in a lead role, but
yeah, that.
And I'm like,
but like you can't have
like is it not the whole point of the movie and the whole point of feminism?
It doesn't make sense.
That just blows my mind. And like
it doesn't make sense.
Like no,
because you don't get Ken's performance without.
No, she's Barbie.
She's Margot Robbie's
everything, and he's just Ken.
Of Barbie. Like,
and I
you
get
don't
it.
Get it.
The irony is cute.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. But she's supposed to be everything. And maybe that's the point of the movie, is that nobody is everything. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But I just...
Yeah.
She got snubbed. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Shout out to America Ferrera, though. Love you, girl. Holding down the fort.
Yeah.
Shout out to Emily Blunt. Love you, girl. Holding down the fort.
Yeah.
Again, I have seen none of these movies, so I have no idea what I'm talking about, but...
I've seen a good number of them. Definitely not all of them.
And I feel like some of the animated feature films are kind of like... I don't think it's really fair to compare like a Ghibli film to a Pixar film. And that's...
No, it's...
That's to protect the integrity of the Ghibli film, not the Pixar film.
Yeah. But the only one of those that I haven't seen is Robot Dreams.
Okay.
So I've seen the other four. Personally, it's Between the Boy and the Heron and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
I was about to say, I feel like those two are the most nuanced and the most comparable. Again, I have not seen either of them. I'm just pulling things out of my booty, like I do every week. What else is it? Logan, when you were looking at these first time, what were your impressions? What did you think?
Oppenheimer is in here a lot. They have 13 nominations, which is the most out of any movie for the Oscars this year. And then we're still waiting on a day where an animated film is nominated for Best Picture.
Oh, we thought we had Boy and the Heron. We really did.
Or even Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse, yeah. I feel like all the Spider-Verses should have been.
Because both of those are... Spider-Verse is a beautiful movie. Visually stunning. But the Academy hates animated films.
They do. It's not fair. I'm surprised Past Lives isn't nominated for more. Because they were nominated a lot for the Emmys, the Golden Globes, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I think most of the nominations are pretty good.
But War is Over is not nominated for animated short film. Listen, okay, I don't know how I can say this without getting into the rest of my crazy Beatles and John and Yoko takes. We could do another episode about that, but I feel like now Yoko Ono is like milking John's estate and is just making money off of him. And she needs to do something else and let the man rest.
I feel like I mean,
Yeah.
John's the only reason people know her.
She's 90. Did not know she was 90. She's 90.
She's 90?
And then, like, there's so many crazy stories about, like, Yoko was really manipulative when they were together. And you know all the tea, like Lost Weekend and May Pang, and
Yeah.
when Yoko, like, found out she was pregnant with Sean, who Beautiful Boy is about, she, like, threatened John that she would get an abortion and was like, I don't remember the exact story. It was just crazy.
Yeah. A lot of manipulation, and it was a different time, different decade.
It was a different time, different decade. I want to look up the story now so I don't sound like an airhead. But, like, okay, so she was prepared to terminate her pregnancy with Sean, but she left it up to John Lennon, and John wanted to keep it. Quote unquote from the Times.uk. John wanted to keep it. It was interesting. She had, quote unquote, a couple of abortions. Okay, Yoko.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Today I learned that Yoko Ono had 3 miscarriages while married to John Lennon.
That's kind of sad, honestly.
That's kind of sad. I just found this really weird article, and she's claiming that she had no abortion. What's the truth, Yoko? She's, like, telling her story of the last weekend, and she's saying that she encouraged John to go on a vacation because she noticed he was being, like, feeling restless, but she literally drugged him for a year and a half. What?
Yeah.
Different time, different decade. This is not the John and Yoko show.
Again, it was a different time, different decade.
But oh my gosh, could it be?
Well, anyway, back to award shows.
So, like, okay, the Emmys did happen.
The Emmys happened.
Did we already talk about the Emmys?
I don't know. I don't remember much from the Emmys anyway. I do remember that I'm Just Ken won for, like, best song or whatever, which was weird because the little joke before they announced it was poking fun at actors that think that they're, like, singers.
Have they not seen La La Land?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The people say that a lot about Amanda Seyfried too, and that makes me very salty. Because she has a beautiful voice. She is an angel. Ryan Gosling can sing. He does a great job.
But Ryan Gosling, he can sing. He has such a wide range too. Like, he's done Blade Runner stuff. He's been Ken. He was in La La Land. Mans has range.
Mans has range. Mans can fit in, like, any genre. No, I do remember talking about the Emmys because we were both miffed that Only Murders in the Building got snubbed, but we were okay that they got snubbed because of The Bear. Or at least I kind of was. Like,
Yeah.
I got it. It was okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Not too salty.
And they had at the Emmys the most impactful television moments,
Yes. Which is, like,
which is kind of cool.
it is kind of cool. And I've seen a lot of these just from, like, watching reruns of old shows because I didn't have cable and we only had, like, the classic TV channels. So, like, I still am a big MASH fan. I love MASH. Literally, one of my favorite shows ever. And I've seen both things that they're talking about. So the first one, they ranked at number 8, which was the finale. And this is kind of how I should have known I was a little bit neurospicy, because when I was little, I would read the wiki pages of, like, every MASH episode, and I just know all of these facts about MASH. MASH was my first special interest, I think, when I was, like, 8 and 10 years old. But the series finale is a 2.5 hour long movie called Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen. And it was the most viewed TV special ever until, I think, one episode of The Simpsons. I think the Michael Jackson episode of The Simpsons beat it in viewership.
That's a weird statistic.
And it was so funny because everybody was watching it. And so everybody was going to the bathroom during the same commercial breaks. New York City's sewers got flooded and backwashed or backlogged or whatever because they couldn't handle everybody going to the bathroom at the same time in New York City because they were literally all watching MASH. Like, that's so crazy.
That's kind of a crappy situation.
But just, like, that's so crazy to me. Oh my gosh, I love MASH. Anyway, the other MASH thing was the episode where, spoilers if any Zoomer out there wants to watch MASH, it was like the first like actual character death both on MASH and like in most of TV history. And it was so impactful that after that, have you ever heard the term McLeaned? Like, oh, that guy got McLeaned off the show. It was a thing for a while, according to the wiki page I read in 2008. But people would say, oh, he got McLeaned because the guy who played the actor who got killed off, his actual name was McLean Stevenson, and because he got killed off of MASH, people were like in the future would be like, oh, he got McLeaned, and like when other characters got killed off, they would say, oh, they got McLeaned.
I thought you were about to say that he also died in real life.
I think he did, but later. There are not many surviving members of the cast of MASH. No, there's not.
No, there's not.
And like the sucky thing was like in like the late 2010s, like seeing the news of all of them dying fairly close to each other.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I heard like Harry Morgan died. I remember where I heard William Christopher died. Like it's crazy. Alan Alda's still alive. Thank God for that. The day Alan Alda dies, I'm probably gonna like do something insane. But anyway, Logan, what were your favorite moments from that list?
It's a good question. A lot of the moments that they had were things that I obviously wasn't around for. The Will Smith slap, that was pretty good.
That was hilarious. Classic.
But yeah, a lot of them, like I didn't watch really a ton of TV, I guess. Definitely not like this stuff when I was younger. I was watching SpongeBob.
Best day ever is my most impactful TV moment. Gary come home. Devastating.
Absolutely devastating.
Christmas Who and Band Geeks, I think, are like my two favorite episodes ever. Like SpongeBob has just such a nice and warm and fuzzy place in my heart. Like I will always be a SpongeBob fan. Even like modern SpongeBob, the ghosts, the jokes are so nuanced and like kids don't get them. Which is like my working theory that like SpongeBob aged up with its audience and like is like still super intelligent, but is just trying probably too hard to disguise itself as a kid show still. But like in one random episode I was watching, they made a Christmas Carol joke about like the ghosts, and that's why I said ghost Freudian slip. But like they made a joke about the Christmas Carol that like no 6-year-old is gonna get, because what 6-year-old knows what the Christmas Carol is?
Maybe if they've seen the Muppet one or the Disney one.
Probably the Muppet one, yeah, or the Disney one, or the Mickey one. The Mickey one made me cry for sure.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. That one was good.
What was I thinking? Where is Rainbow Connection on this list?
Rainbow Connection.
Yeah, the Muppet Singing Rainbow Connection. That should be on this list.
But what about the Reading Rainbow?
I didn't know that Chef Aid and South Park was based off of Live Aid, which is like that benefit concert. I didn't realize that was what Chef Aid was. I thought Chef Aid was more a nod to like We Are the World. More you know.
On the list, they also had a few tragedies that were covered on TV, like the Challenger launch and explosion, which I had been to like a Challenger learning center or something in middle school, kind of learn about spaceship stuff. That was pretty cool. But one of the things that I've heard before about the Challenger was that they were going to put Big Bird on it.
God.
Yeah, but they couldn't get him to fit. So there's an alternate universe out there where Big Bird dies on a Challenger explosion.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to sit and think about that one for a little bit. Oh my god.
Yeah.
There's the background on my phone right now is literally a picture of Big Bird hugging the bear in the Big Blue house. I'm so sad. But it's an alternate universe.
It's not real.
An alternate timeline. Have you seen Community?
Yeah.
Have you seen Community?
We're not in the worst timeline.
Have you seen Ovid's timelines? They all exist. I haven't finished Community. Yeah. I don't know how it ends, but where I'm at right now, all the timelines are like having a crap attack.
And then they did have obviously 9/11, which
I was a year old.
Happened before I was born.
When it happened. I don't remember it obviously, but my parents told us like I grew up in rural Ohio, so like state fairs and like county fairs were huge. My parents raced horses, so we would like go and race our horses at these fairs. Completely humanely, don't come for me in the comments, but they told us that they were going to take us to a fair, and then it happened in the morning before they left, and then they stayed home. Yeah,
Oh.
like everybody was scared to go out after it happened. And like, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
whenever
Yeah.
I think it sucks because a lot of the top TV moments or most impactful televised moments that we have now are of like tragedies, like school shootings or other incidents
Yep.
that we inadvertently see on TV, and it freaks you out for a little bit. Yeah, I don't think they should show security footage of incidents like that when they happen. Like, no, I don't want to see
No.
that. And I get it. Like, it's in the world. Like,
Like, I can understand the tragedy happening without having to see it.
it's called empathy. Like, I don't need to see someone else's devastation to have an emotional response to it. I don't need that to know that it's bad.
Like, with 9/11, I obviously didn't see that. I wasn't really
Yeah.
here when that happened, obviously, but, like, I know it was a tragedy and everything, but I will say it was kind of weird being in elementary school and learning about
Yeah,
that,
it's
like, for
weird.
the first time.
And like learning about
That was really, really
like
weird.
MLK too was odd for me because did you ever see My Friend Martin?
I don't
It
think
was
so.
an animated film where a little boy ends up traveling back in time. The details are fuzzy, so I don't exactly remember how. But he meets MLK when he's a child, and they become friends. And like at the end of the movie, I'm gonna start crying thinking about it. Like Martin is like, "Oh, I have to go now. I have to do what I have to do." And the kid is like, "What are you talking about? I don't understand." And then he's like, I just have to go. And then that's when he like, again, details are fuzzy, but then he ages up and then he becomes Martin Luther King when he dies. And like that was so traumatizing, like not traumatizing because like obviously I will not have the same experiences as somebody who I'm a white girl. It means something totally different to me. But I don't know, just like when you see fear on somebody's face and then you see them realize that fear, like you know what's happening, and you should be able to understand how they're feeling. I'm gonna look up this movie now because I feel like I did not do it justice. But yeah, like watching it was like crazy. Okay, they're sent back in time to meet MLK at several points in his life. So they meet him as a child, meet him as he's grown a little bit, and then meet him at the end of his life. It's a good movie. It's a really good
Yeah,
movie.
it sounds good.
It's just a lot.
Which Martin Luther King Day was pretty recently, and it was like the CIA or FBI, they posted like a little thing about Martin Luther King Day. It was like celebrating his life and legacy. Like,
Weren't you the guys that?
weren't you the guys that
Yeah,
told him to kill himself? Interesting.
it's a little weird.
Little weird there.
I definitely don't want to liken the two very different incidents with two very different people, and they're not comparable at all. But the Emmys have, or their top TV moments has MLK's "I Have a Dream" speech at number 6. Number 5 is Walter Cronkite announcing the death of JFK. And I just read something that specifically MLK was one of 4 assassinations in the United States in the 60s. JFK was another of the 4
Who the CIA and FBI have offed.
people. So, involving the government, the mafia, and Memphis police, as alleged by Lloyd Jowers in '93.
Which I don't know if
Yeah.
the government actually did end up killing Martin Luther King Jr., but they did send him
Yeah.
a death threat.
The other 2 were Malcolm X and RFK.
Yep. And Malcolm X, because he was also part of the civil rights movement. And then RFK
Right.
was related to JFK, obviously. It was his brother.
I went through a weird phase in high school where I would look up famous people's autopsy pictures and crime scene pictures if they were killed. I was not okay at any point in my life. And like, RFK's were so sad because he looked so scared. And I'm looking at it now and I'm going to start crying.
Yeah. JFK's autopsy reports were doctored.
Really?
At least I
did not know that.
think they were. They probably were. Saw it in a documentary, one of the 200 million JFK documentaries.
There were like, I think technically there are at least 2 MASH spinoffs. And I think there's some show that's technically a MASH spinoff, but it's like not quite. But like it technically is. And I can't remember if it was Doogie Howser or if it was All the Family or something. One of those shows is a MASH spinoff. MASH is good.
I've
Sorry,
never seen MASH.
I need to stop talking about MASH. Stop thinking about MASH. That got deep. I'm honest to God, I'm just gonna say this. I'm surprised that they ranked Apollo 11 and Neil Armstrong landing on the moon as number 1 and 9/11 as number 2.
Well, I think they probably wanted to have a more positive one be number 1.
Yeah,
But for most impactful, I do think 9/11 was probably more
because
impactful.
yes, Americana, whatever. We won the space race. Yay!
Mhm. But we haven't gone back really.
And daily life did not change after that the way that daily life changed after 9/11. Now we have TSA.
Like, we're still seeing
Oh yeah.
the effects of 9/11 and the United States' response to that.
Yeah, and like the extreme schisms and consumerism spiking because it was the only way to cope. Because our president told us stupid 9/11 was to go shopping because it would help the economy.
Yeah.
Duh.
Sounds a little familiar to something that happened during COVID. I don't know.
Spend money. It's okay. Escapism. Woo.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm surprised that the Beatles' performance on the Ed Sullivan Show is number 3. I think they're like, I love the Beatles. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I feel like there are more impactful things.
There might be some others
Yeah.
that are a little bit more impactful.
This Beatles. And like in that logic, ABBA's performance on Eurovision when they won Eurovision in 1994 with Waterloo should be on this list. I said what I said.
Yeah.
Elvis is at number 11. What? Come on.
SNL is right above him.
He should be above SNL. Elvis should be at number 1. Screw 9/11.
Yeah, it's Elvis.
I think there are a lot of really interesting like social dynamics changing in these TV moments, and a lot of them are moments where racial boundaries are being broken. Like Sammy Davis Jr. kissing Archie Bunker's cheek and Mr. Rogers washing his feet with a black man. Like,
yeah.
It's weird how like I think media was being informed by the social climates of that time because integration was like the civil rights movement was happening. Integration was the big push. And then moments like that just kind of stopped. And there's nothing really like that in modern television, to my knowledge.
Well, I think they still do it because one of the larger things recently was the gay rights movement. And so we've been seeing a lot more representation for those characters.
No, that's true. That's true.
So I think they still do that.
That's true.
For better or worse.
Right. And the representation is good when it's done well and like in the population, not forced, and the population to actually feel represented by it and not like they're being appropriated.
Yeah, like if it's a character that's already been established, maybe
Are you talking about Gwen?
Drastically change them.
Gwen from Spider-Man?
What?
Well, something happened recently where people were really pressed because a character was gay or trans or something when canonically they were a female, and I'm pretty sure it was Gwen from Spider-Man. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. In Across the Spider-Verse, Gwen Stacy, Spider-Woman, in her like bedroom, she has like a flag that says like protect trans kids. And so because her color scheme is also the same colors as that, a lot of people made headcanons that she was trans, even though that's not the actual canon, because that could just be a flag that
you can be an ally.
People have, you know.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah, so that was a Twitter moment.
That was a Twitter moment. And that's like another thing. If Gwen Stacy was a trans woman, then she should be voiced by a trans woman.
Yep.
Like,
yeah.
There's stories about like straight actresses being typecasted to play queer characters, and it just is not.
Yeah.
That's disingenuous. That's not true representation.
It's weird. It doesn't work. Yeah.
Anyway.
But I mean, with that one, it's a voice, so it's voice acting.
Spider-Girl.
So
I need to watch the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
So okay, we just segue. Very anti-American, I guess. But going back to 9/11, what's the pipeline between 9/11 and Oppenheimer? Can you explain that to me, please?
So the Oppenheimer Christopher Nolan film that has been nominated for 13 Oscars. There is a pipeline from 9/11 to that film being made.
Okay.
Which 9/11 happened, and then there was a guy that saw it on a boat. He was going to work, and he decided to start a band.
Okay.
My Chemical Romance, and then that band heavily inspired.
And then
Twilight
inspired a fan fiction.
In Twilight, which
it does. Such a good way to put it.
This is where the multiverse branches. It branches here because Twilight gets really popular, and this is
Yes.
the original branch. So Twilight gets popular, creates fan fiction. That fan fiction also
Woo!
becomes really popular, 50 Shades of Grey. And Dakota
Yes, she
Johnson
was.
was in that, I believe. I believe that was her. Yeah. And she goes on Ellen DeGeneres, and
Woo!
that causes the downfall of Ellen DeGeneres because Dakota Johnson was the one that pointed her out on her being a really bad person.
Yeah.
But
Twilight.
going back to Twilight, Twilight became really popular
Amen.
and it got a movie franchise featuring
Woo!
none
Who
other than
also
Robert
voices the
Pattinson,
bird and the boy and the heron. Just thought I'd put that out there.
which because of Twilight, Robert Pattinson absolutely hates it. And he's gone on to do a lot of other things now, like The Batman
Preach.
or The Bird and the Heron. But he also did a little Christopher Nolan film, Tenet. And at the wrap party for Tenet, he gave Christopher Nolan American Prometheus, which was Robert J. Oppenheimer's like story, essentially. And then Christopher Nolan decided he was going to make a movie on that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy. Is Tenet the one where he's the detective and he is like delusions? I don't know.
That might be Inception.
I don't really remember.
I don't know. I haven't
But
seen
that's
them.
crazy.
So.
Oppenheimer is Robert Pattinson's fault, and he should have credits for Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Which, technically, Oppenheimer is also a prequel to every single Godzilla movie.
Oh my god, you're right. Can't have Godzilla without without World War II.
Nope.
Oh my word. That's fun. Thank you, Robert Pattinson, for Godzilla. That's
wild.
God. Yeah, you know what? 9/11 should be at the top of impactful TV moments list. Because it gave us Twilight and Oppenheimer.
It really should.
And Godzilla!
Yeah. Well, technically, it didn't give us Godzilla, but it created a movie that's a prequel
What's it
to all
called?
the Godzilla movies.
The associative property of math. If A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. What did the moon landing ever did for us? Not Twilight, not Oppenheimer, and definitely not Godzilla.
Yeah. Now, I just want to be clear.
No, we're not. I feel kind of
making jokes out of 9/11. This is just some more lighter things that have happened because of the tragedy.
I don't know, and now humor is like dark humor has been popularized and skewed and misused, and I don't think it's fun anymore, but you have to cope somehow.
Yeah.
Like when you grow up with death looming over your head, you kind of go a little crazy. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. So
yeah.
Listen, it's January, right? We're all getting like pieces of paper from our employers and from the government and grand larceny is about to occur. And like I don't know how to do my taxes. I know how to type in turbotax.com and put in pictures of my papers and then click a couple buttons and then get like a couple bucks. I don't know how to actually do taxes. I don't know what any of it means.
So I use Free Tax USA because it's better than TurboTax, and TurboTax is a scam. They actually just got slapped by the government because they had been advertising that their tax service was completely free, except it wasn't, and it was only if you had very, very simple taxes. And so now in their newer advertisements, they have to state that only 37% of people actually qualify for their free taxes.
So true.
And I am so happy that they have to do that now because I don't like TurboTax. They've also lobbied the government a ton to keep taxes more difficult. They use older software that makes it just harder to use in general.
I wish I had known this 4 years ago when I started using TurboTax. Oh god.
Yeah. Oh, and you also cannot delete a TurboTax account.
Oh my word. I might cry.
Yeah. I just looked that up because I was wanting to delete my TurboTax account because I was tired and sick of all their emails. And you can't do that because apparently there's some government regulation with tax services or something where you cannot delete your account because of that tax information or something or other.
TurboTax, if you're listening to this, I hate you. I wish you had died instead of JFK.
So I use So I use Free Tax USA.
Okay.
Federal taxes are completely free with
Not
it.
spons.
This is not sponsored, by the way. I just like them.
Okay.
But you do have to pay for your state taxes. That's the only downside.
I mean, I've used TurboTax free a couple times because I like only had a W-2 and that was it.
Yeah. Like when you're just starting
Right.
out, TurboTax is typically fine.
Right.
Like if you just have a W-2
A
essentially.
couple, yeah.
But after
No.
that, it's
A few times I
not
paid
good.
for like the next step of TurboTax because it could get me the American Learner Tax Credit because I was in college. So it
Yeah.
outweighed the cost enough for me to be like, okay, yes, I'm gonna do that. But
Yeah. But you can get that for free in
man, I hate
the Free
everything.
Tax USA.
I hate the world right now.
Yeah. Which I believe the IRS is recently or they will be putting out a free file system.
You know, it's the least they could do
You can actually
after.
file for free, which I don't know like any of the details on that. I don't know like if it's just a straight up form that you can now submit online, which would be very hard for people
Yeah.
to do because their forms are very confusing. Thanks,
They should
TurboTax.
just completely first, I guess, kill TurboTax and then redo the tax forms.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something.
I have a 1099 because I was contractual and untaxed for a couple months, or like a month. And yeah.
Oh, you might have to pay taxes then.
Do you know what the cutoff is to have to pay taxes on contractual work?
Rip.
You probably don't. It's okay.
Like for a total income, anything after 12,500, you pay taxes on, I think, at least for federal taxes.
Right.
But I'm not a tax expert, so I just paid attention to the one day in that one class in high school where we talked about taxes.
Oh God, dang it! The cutoff is $400. God, oh God.
Oh no,
Logan, this might be it for me.
you're gonna have to pay.
0.35 times. I think I made this much.
That might be it.
I just died on the inside.
Oh, we might have to do some paid content for the podcast. Start a Patreon.
God. Wait a minute, now I'm reading different website. Typically, if a filer files less than $5,000 per year, they do not need to do any filing for the IRS. Your employment status can be used to determine if you're making less than that. That's total income.
I
That's
think
not
that's like
just
total
1099.
income. No.
I'm not self-employed. No. Oh man. I hate
Welcome to
everything
American
so much.
taxation.
Now I want to do my freaking taxes. So Free Tax USA, here we go. Anyway, while I wallow in self-pity and cry 1,000 tears and hiccup, probably die a little bit.
Yeah.
I know.
If only we got to keep more of
work
our money.
so hard. Why do I have to pay so much money?
I know.
Anyway, oh god. Yes, taxation is theft. I hate the American government, honestly.
Yep. Honestly, that's like the only thing I agree with from the Libertarian Party. Taxation is
They are
theft and the
not.
government is not your friend.
Government does not want to see you succeed. Nope. They want to keep you down.
No. If they could enslave you, they will.
Oh my god. Just like Big Coffee.
Just like mega corporations.
Big Coffee and Big Pharma. Okay,
Crazy.
I guess I'm having an anxiety attack. Yeah.
You know, I wonder if taxes would be better if things weren't as expensive as they are right now.
Yeah. If the cost of living was lower and yeah, like you should not be taxing at the same rate you are when things cost less.
Yeah.
Cuz that's just
when things are
it should be really graduated.
Like inflated, our taxes should go down or something. I don't know.
Tax rates should be actually maybe they shouldn't be graduated. They should be graduated. They need to be fair.
Yeah. Well, the hard thing with that is that rich people, it's easier for them to find loopholes in graduated tax systems. So they can essentially make it where their income is actually like only the lower bracket. So they don't have to pay as many taxes, even though they have millions and billions of dollars. So I think they'll find loopholes any way they can.
Taxes.
They really should.
Yep.
It used to be that way.
When the world was good.
I don't remember which president changed the tax code though to lower it for the upper class. I guess.
Yeah, I think that's
Reagan.
about when the graduated income tax amendment got passed in the Constitution.
Yeah. Because it was like the trickle down
Trickle
theory.
down. It does not trickle
So
down.
no, like you give the rich tax breaks, and then you would hope that that money would trickle down,
They do.
but it don't. It just pools up at the top.
It always just pools.
Yep. But I don't know how
I
to
don't
fix
either.
taxes.
No, we need to vote third party and then weaken the American government
Yeah.
and then
Go to war
have a civil war, but against the right people. Have a civil war against the
against
government.
the government.
Like, whenever I talk to anybody who is like pissed about something and something, or like, I think like I was talking to my brother one time about taxes. He was like, "Why are taxes so high? Bet, 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 bet. This is the left's fault." And I'm like, "Hold up, buddy. Slow down. Like, you're
Don't vote
angry
for
at the
them.
wrong people. Like, don't be just angry at the left. Be angry at
Yeah.
the whole cabinet, the whole chamber, because they all did this to you, not just the one enemy. They're
You
both
know-
your enemy.
You
Freaking
know,
lame.
left wing, right wing. It's the two wings of the same bird.
It's an FBI watch list now. Like what kind of government makes you wait 2.5 years to get welfare while you're literally suffering? And they're like, "Oh, if you do anything to help yourself, we're not gonna approve you." Like, okay, am I supposed to
Yeah.
just die? The government says yes, you should die. You ever forget A Modest Proposal by Jonathan Swift? Hello.
There's a
It is
solution
all
to many
eating
problems
babies.
in-
Or
Or
yes.
the rich.
Eat the rich. That's the only thing that they're good for. Amen to Aerosmith. Eat the rich. God.
Yeah. Definitely feeling a French air.
That's so funny because I was
lately.
talking about the French Revolution at work today. Or was it the day before? Basically, I said we needed another French Revolution, and then my coworkers put me on the government watch list.
Yeah.
That has been the joke for the past couple of days.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
French Revolution was
And
crazy,
every
though.
day they seem a little bit more, based.
Like-
Robespierre was onto something.
I can really get behind these French guys, you know? Yeah. Until he got his head cut off.
I think that's the thing that I love most about the French Revolution is that the guy who started it killed it.
Yeah.
I love that. That's like, yes, nobody should be in power.
And the crazier thing is that
Yeah.
they cut off so many people's heads. Like that whole thing was
Yeah.
almost like a religion.
Oh yeah.
Like they almost made a religion out of it.
Yeah. Huh, that sounds vaguely familiar, actually. I'm not sure why, though.
That'd be wild.
Almost like civil religion has always been the vanity of man.
Yeah.
People want to be quote-unquote anti-religion and think God is evil, and then they make the state their religion.
Then they make their own religion.
Like, buddy, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing, dude.
Yeah.
You're a hypocrite.
And then during the French Revolution, Napoleon came in.
And
declared himself king.
You won the war. So everything goes back to ABBA. I'm telling you.
After the French were like, no more kings.
Yes. It is me, Napoleon.
They had a king.
Tiny man. Yeah. People wanted him out.
They did exile him like twice, though. Yeah. Because he came back after the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And then Ridley Scott made a movie about him last year. I didn't see it because it didn't look good.
Oh, yeah. Bonaparte. Yep.
Because honestly, this might be a little bit of a controversial hot take. I don't think Ridley Scott is a very good director.
You just said
anymore.
that on the radio. Dang.
Yeah. I think he's kind of out of touch as a director. Like he's still good at like the cinematography stuff like that, but if we're looking at the big picture, I don't think he's it right now. Like yeah, he's made Alien and like those are really
Alien's
good movies.
okay.
Well, at least the first one is, but a lot of his newer stuff just isn't all that good. Because we had two biopic movies from last year, Oppenheimer and Napoleon, that were like big profile, and Oppenheimer was way better. Like there's a reason it's getting nominated for 13 Oscars. Yeah. So that's my hot take for the day.
That's makes sense.
Ridley Scott is washed up.
Wait till the Olivet film buffs hear you say that.
Not my problem.
They're gonna get so butthurt.
There are a lot of other directors that are way better than Ridley Scott now.
Like who?
Christopher Nolan.
Anybody else?
Greta Gerwig. Almost anyone else, honestly. But I think one of the reasons why I kind of think that Ridley Scott's out of touch is that there was a movie he made a few years ago, I think. I don't even remember what the movie was called. I think it was like some medieval movie or something. I don't know. But he was complaining that the reason it didn't do well in theaters, it wasn't because it was like a bad movie. I didn't make the best product I could have. No, he blamed it on like people being on their phones all the time. Like, no, no. What movie even was that? I'm gonna look that up.
That's crazy. Damn. That's
I think it was The Last Duel. Yeah. Ridley Scott blames millennials and their cell phones for making The
man.
Last Duel a flop.
I get it where, like, this is a whole nother topic we could talk about. I do think that cell phones have ruined concerts,
Yeah.
and this summer was really indicative of that because you had people like posting about the
Yeah.
stuff they were throwing on stage, and like,
Yeah.
there are some bands like Ghost that are supposed to be anonymous. Everybody isn't masked for a reason.
Yeah.
And then people get on social media and post about them unmasked when you're not supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. For the last show of their tour, Ghost did a 2-day stay at the LA Forum, and they literally had people lock up their phones so they could not get on. I get it for concerts.
Yeah.
But movies are kind of like, if they're long, people are going to lose interest. And then it's an always thing. It's not just a millennial thing.
Yeah. Like I didn't go and see Killers of the Flower Moon.
Right.
Even though it looked like it was gonna be a good movie.
Ooh, I love Scorsese.
Because it's a Scorsese film. I didn't see it
Yeah.
because it's 3.5 hours long. I didn't want to spend my entire day seeing this one
I watched
movie,
The Irishman like a year after it came out on Netflix or something. It's good. Long movies are good when you can kind of just watch them in chunks. Like, it took me 3 days to finish Pulp Fiction.
It's almost like
That's so
sometimes
true.
they make for better TV shows. And sometimes
also true.
TV shows make for better movies.
I'm starting to be like disillusioned by like
Huh.
the 26th season or 26 episode season. I feel like it works for sitcoms. It doesn't work for serious shows.
Yeah.
Like, there are a ton of shows that I want to watch, but I haven't started them because there's a ton of episodes and a ton of seasons, and it just seems like so much.
Yeah. One
Dude,
Piece.
I would love to watch One Piece. I freaking love One Piece.
Yeah. If you don't know, One Piece is an anime that has over 1,000 episodes.
Have you seen One Piece, Rod?
Kind of like The Simpsons.
Oh, it's good.
No, I haven't.
Highly recommend. It's good. What do you
I
think
have
about
seen the live action though.
Okay.
It was good.
I'm very on the fence about it because
I enjoyed it.
Shanks is ugly, and I love Shanks. Shanks is the reason that I do anything One Piece related. So, like, when I saw him, he's just this little twinkie guy. I'm like, oh my god, this could not be my Shanks. It was. And, like...
And it's coming from someone that hasn't seen, like, anything One Piece.
Yeah.
So, and I liked it.
Fun pirates.
Those fun pirates. Yeah.
That's what it should be. He just doesn't...
Yeah.
They all look like they should be in a band like R5 or something. Just, like...
Yeah.
I like Shanks. Okay, I need to focus. Pretty red hair man. Okay. Hey, guess what's in a couple weeks? Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
Yeah. Woo, 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 woo.
There are 4 teams remaining at the point of recording. There will be 2 teams by the time this is up, I believe.
Next game is the Ravens versus the Chiefs. Who's got your money? Kansas.
Yep. And then the
living in person resident. That's the word.
I want to see Kansas City go all the way. I do. I like the fan base. I think they've got a really strong fan base. I like a lot of the players. They seem pretty cool.
They're cool guys with cool girlfriends. Wink, wink.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
They're pretty cool. Talking about you.
And I would like to see them become a dynasty, you know? But I do understand where a lot of people come from when their coverage is a little annoying, how much the NFL seems to really, really like the Chiefs. I get that.
They're a good team. They're winning for a reason.
But you do have to admit, like, they are really good. Yeah.
And, like, I feel like the NFL is just doing what it knows will make it money. The viewership everywhere is down, and, like, sport franchises are suffering a lot. So you can't blame them for making the decisions that they're making. That being said, I do think that Deshaun Watson should have been expelled from the NFL. And I hate the Cleveland Browns for still letting him play.
Yeah.
Anyone who is still a Cleveland Browns fan sucks. You guys are assholes, and you're misogynists, and you support the assault of women, and I hate you. And if any of y'all are Browns fans, you're gonna come at me, bring your evidence, because I sure as hell have mine.
Yeah. And I don't know how I feel about the Ravens, honestly.
So, like, the Ravens didn't exist until like the mid 70s. The
Mhm.
Browns up until like 74. In 1974, the Cleveland Browns got moved to Baltimore and became the Ravens. So there's that deep-seated like, oh, I hate the Ravens because Ohio when they stole our team
Oh.
and
Oh.
I don't know. I feel like most teams when they have a winning record and they're good, they just become buttheads.
Huh. Huh.
and like it's one thing where you're like, yeah, our team is good, and there's another way to like the showboat Cowboys.
Yeah. Dallas
Shout
Cowboys.
out, beat the Cowboys. Who did that? Who did that? Who do I have to send some dollars to for my very small tax return?
The Pack.
Oh, I'm not giving the. Never mind. Never mind,
Yeah.
y'all. At least the 49ers took care of the Packers. Barely.
Yeah.
The
Barely.
Lions barely got the Buccaneers. The Chiefs barely got the Bills. These were all really close games.
Yeah. Yeah. Bills game wasn't. Well, yeah, it was pretty close because a field goal that was missed would have tied it up.
The Ravens game was not close at all.
No.
The Texans' last game was against the Browns. It was 45-14.
No. Yeah, but the other game is the 49ers and the Lions.
Are the Lions like are they underdogs this year?
They're really good this year, but they've also never won a Super Bowl.
There you go. Have the 49ers? Yeah, they have, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. They've won a bunch.
Don't say it like
they've won a bunch.
When my brother was in like I think he was in like 3rd or 5th grade, he had to do a report for school and he had to make like a poster board diorama of the first Super Bowl. And the first Super Bowl was like the Chiefs versus somebody. Chiefs versus probably.
I think the Packers.
Super Bowl one.
I know the Packers. I think the Packers won the first Super Bowl.
My brother spelled Chiefs.
I want to say.
I still think that's so funny to this day. I think it's the funniest thing ever.
It reminds me of I think it's a Snickers commercial where it's a field worker for the Kansas City Chiefs and he's like painting Chiefs in the end zone on the grass, and Andy Reid comes by and is like, "Who are the chefs?"
That is so funny. Snickers chefs.
Yeah.
That's really funny. Oh my god. Hello there, children. Oh, fudge, children.
But I think at the Super Bowl, I think it's probably going to be Kansas City Chiefs versus the Detroit Lions
against the 49ers.
Yeah, because
good luck, Charm.
Taylor Swift versus Eminem.
Ultimate rap battle. Eminem on Stan and Taylor Swift on Reputation. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Who do you think will win the Super Bowl? Chiefs probably. Because like I think it'd be cool if
I
they
don't
did.
know.
I also kind of want them to lose.
Because if it's Chiefs versus Lions, that's a rematch of the very first game of the NFL season.
Yes.
Where the Lions beat the Chiefs.
That's crazy. That would be fun.
Yeah. So maybe the Chiefs come back and get revenge.
That's
Who knows?
Very true. That would be awesome.
That's
Big
the
NFL
true
just
conspiracy.
wants games to get money.
Yeah. It's almost like it's a corporation.
It's almost like they just want to make money off of agricultural America. Crazy.
Wow.
It's always
Crazy.
the 1% trying to take advantage of the rural America. Train of thought, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, the Super Bowl this year is going to be in Vegas. So tickets are like crazy expensive too. Because it's in Vegas.
Super Bowl 2024. Put it up. Is that the song?
Yeah.
On location. The average price is $10,891, with the cheapest average price is $10,891. The cheapest one at the stadium is $8,696. Vivid seats can be as low as $6,300. Ticketmaster has them up to $24,000 and $45,000.
That's like a brand new car.
I could buy a brand new car.
I could buy a brand new car with that money.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. There is no hope for me.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. That just blows my mind. How can people drop these kinds of bands on Super Bowl tickets?
I don't know.
Ask
Taylor Swift fans. They understand.
Why are you guys spending $1,800 on a ticket?
Yeah. Like, you do realize that your most powerful vote is the one in your wallet.
That's why boycotts are so expensive. I mean, so effective. expensive for the business and effective for the consumer.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
I get it. Like, yeah, big
At least
chains
when
will
they're like
not
fully
suffer if
unified.
one person decides to stop buying them. But like, same thing when you're voting third party.
But,
Like,
like,
nothing's
if
gonna change if one person is voting. But if everybody who says they want to vote third party actually does it, there is going to be a sway in American politics.
yeah, or all those people that are like, I just don't want to vote
And
between
vote.
the lesser of two
You
evils.
have a choice.
Like, you have a third choice.
Most
There's not
houses
two
more than
choices,
three
there's
because you can
three.
write in. I'm half tempted to write in Dolly Parton. I'm
Yeah.
not freaking kidding.
Honestly, can we like
Can Dolly Parton be
all vote in Dolly Parton?
Can she run after the Iowa caucus? Can she run after New Hampshire?
Just have her run independent. Have her run
The
independent.
Dolly Party. The Parton
Her own
Party.
party. The Dolly Parton party.
I'd vote for her in a heartbeat.
I'd
Literally,
vote for her. She's
if
awesome.
the requirement to be president is to be older than 70, she has it in the bag. I don't want to hear one word about how old she is, because look at your front runners, dude. People are so stupid. It's like it's elder abuse at this point. Like forcing these old ass men and women, because Marianne Williamson is 78, but she's our only hope.
RFK Jr.
He's also
fallen
old
pretty
as
high
dirt.
lately.
He's 70. Democrats' concerns about RFK Jr. rise. Yeah, you're concerned he's going to destroy your party. Stinky butts.
Yeah, he's 70, which is still
way
like
younger in comparison.
way younger than them. Yeah.
I need Nikki Haley to win just out of spite.
Well, I don't know how to feel about her. I like her more than Trump, but she also, I don't know. Like, one of the things she said lately was that she wants to raise the minimum retirement age to 70 for people that are in their 20s.
Why? Girlfriend. No, that's not going to fix it.
Because apparently there's not enough money for Social Security.
Forced to live.
Like, I get that we have to take care of our aging boomer population, and there are a lot of them because they're the boomers. But at the same time, a lot of younger people feel like they were left behind by the boomers.
Absolutely.
The boomers didn't take care of them either to help prepare them for a better life. Because parenting is setting up your child for success to be more successful than you. But a lot of people feel like that did not happen with.
And there's like a really interesting dichotomy between, and this is getting religious again, I'm sorry, but like the book of Ephesians, says that when a couple marries, you're supposed to leave your parents. That's very, very, very paraphrasing, but that's what Ephesians says, Ephesians 5. And then you have examples in like the book of Ruth where a widow stays behind and takes care of her late husband's family because of solidarity, So like, I guess that creates like a choice, where like you're not being forced to take care of people, but you're doing it because it's all true. Because Ruth had no other choice, and it was altruism, empathy. Oh my gosh, everything comes back to empathy. Who would have thought? And I guess it's like when people take care of themselves,
empathy.
You're okay to leave, but when your duty calls, that's when you go back, because the people who came before you gave you the ability to leave, and you could coexist on opposite ends of the earth. And then when you need each other, you come back together. I get it. Amen. Yeah. Someone put me in seminary. For real. And
then a lot of younger people, like we've seen all of those many news articles blaming millennials and Gen Z for all the problems of the world.
Like, no.
Even though, like, when a lot of those were coming out, like, we weren't even old enough to vote yet. So how can we create those problems when we're not the voting population?
And then when we try to vote to fix them, you don't. You overrule it. You
overrule, because you have the numbers, because it's the largest generation.
And most of that large generation is going to be dense in metropolitan areas that tend to be more leftist in their politics. That's just what happens. No one wants to live in Hicktown, Wyoming anymore, even though I would like to live in Wyoming. Hot take.
Well, I think we're kind of seeing a shift away from large cities lately.
There's this thing in sociology and urban planning called the Burgess hypothesis. So cities develop in like concentric rings. So when you start out just working, you don't have a ton of money, you live downtown. You live where you can walk to work, because all you can afford to do is walk to work. You can't afford a car. Yeah. And then when you build up wealth, that is when you move to like the suburbs because now you can afford
Mhm.
to live farther away from where you work. And then it just keeps going out.
Yeah.
So people are obtaining higher standards of livings farther away from city centers, farther away from where they used to work, and they're figuring out they can work in other locations now. So now working in rural
Work from home.
America, not on a farm, is more obtainable.
Mhm.
Thanks Edmund Burgess
Yeah.
for that beautiful hypothesis.
Yeah, it is very interesting how we see like waves of people come in and out of large cities, and that really does have an effect on
Yes.
the
Oh, for
politics
sure.
of the areas around them.
And like when that population is changing so much, like its representatives should be changing that often too.
Yeah, yeah.
And term
Maybe like
limits,
term limits or
no
something.
gerrymandered districts. Like there is no reason the district that Kankakee is in should go all the way up to Monier and Manhattan. No way. Illinois. Monier, Manhattan, Illinois. People aren't privy to Illinois.
You know,
it's just crazy.
maybe voting districts should be
Gasp.
residential districts as well. That'd make it easy. And then you can't
Representative
change them.
districts are like, well, then we would have like if we went by zip code or something, we'd have a billion.
We would have a lot
representatives.
more, which
Might be better. We would just
might
do
be
everything
better.
by popular vote and have everybody be a member of Congress because we're being taxed. We might as well.
Yeah.
Give me my
No taxation
representation
without
now.
representation. Give me my representation or give me back my taxation.
We were talking at work the other day and we were trying to figure out if the Boston Tea Party happened in 2024, what would we dump in Boston Harbor? And I said like Sam Adams or something. If we asked this question in summer 2023, people would have said Bud Light. But they didn't care if it was getting them drunk.
I don't know. Because the thing with the Boston Tea Party was that tea was brought there by the British government, and there was a heavy tax on that.
Yeah.
That's why they dumped it. But I don't know what that would be today. Like, what would be the equivalent to show that, like, we're upset with the government?
Like, if it was a theocracy and, like, we had, like a Roman Empire, cool Roman Catholic Church situation, communion wine, duh. I'm trying to think. Maybe, like, all the wine that comes from Mar-a-Lago or something. Is
Maybe.
Mar-a-Lago a vineyard? Do I know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's the thing. I will admit when I'm wrong, but I hope that I am never wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
I think cheese would be the answer because the cheese caves.
No.
Do you not know about the cheese cave?
Cheese game?
Oh boy.
Cave.
Cheese caves.
That sounds
Caves filled with
like
cheese.
Cheese Cave is a lava tube located in Gifford Pinchot National Forest, just southwest of Trout Lake, Washington. That one? Or like Doomsday Cheese Caves?
The U.S. cheese caves.
The underground cheese caves of Missouri.
So they're caves that were like converted limestone mines. And back in like the 70s, the dairy industry was like really struggling. There was like a huge dairy shortage in the 70s and like huge inflation on dairy products, like 30% on dairy products, like really bad. So Jimmy Carter poured a ton of money into the dairy industry to kind of like spur it along and whatnot. And like they subsidized the dairy industry with like $2 billion over like 4 years. And they kind of overproduced. So in the early 1980s, the government owned over 500 million pounds of cheese.
Oh my God. We need the cheese caves.
And this is kind of where the phrase government cheese comes from, because like Reagan distributed it, the government cheese.
Yeah.
Because like the cheese was going to go bad or whatever.
Like 40 acres and a mule, but it's cheese.
And so now 2019, 1.4 billion pounds of cheese underground in Missouri.
Just kind of chilling.
Just kind of chilling there.
God,
yep.
Damn. Hey, if I'm
like if you look up pictures of these caves just
I'm looking at them now.
filled with
crazy.
cheese, it's wild. Yeah. Average Skyrim player's inventory.
Oh my goodness gracious. If I'm paying so much tax money, I should get some cheese. I want some government cheese.
I want some government cheese.
I think I would like Biden a little bit better if he gave me some cheese.
I
would rip on him for being old a little bit less. Just kidding. No, I wouldn't. Have you?
No.
Oh my gosh, this is like, I'm getting tired. Have you seen the AI president's videos? They're so funny.
Yes.
Like,
Yep.
I just love the ones where they're all friends and they like
Mm-hmm.
just kind of like josh each other, and then they're like, "Oh, good job, boys! Good game, boys!" And then they're also like swearing at each
Yeah.
other and like being mean, but like being fun mean.
Yeah.
Funny. I like imagining an alternate universe where all the ex-presidents are friends. Yeah,
Playing Minecraft together.
gives me hope for my modern friendships.
Biden, where's my dog? What did you do with my Minecraft dog?
I'm sure your dog is somewhere else, Donald. It's okay. Let's go look for it. That's my Obama impression, the voice of reason. And Joe is like,
My
"Let me be
fellow
clear."
Americans,
Biden is like, "I ate your dog.
let me be clear.
I killed it to meat."
America dog. I turned him into a hot dog.
Jimmy Carter comes in and he's like, "Guys, can I put my peanut farm on the server? It'll make us good money, I promise."
Kamala tries to join the server. Kamala, this is the boys only server. I'm sorry, but you can't be here.
And then Kamala is like, "Well, then why is Jill on it?" And then Jill is like, "Well, why is Michelle
Why is
here?" And
Obama
they're
here
like,
then?
"Michelle's not a woman." I'm sorry, Michelle Obama. I just think that's so funny. I think it would be really funny if Michelle Obama came out as trans. I think it would not be on my
That would be
2024
kinda
bingo
funny.
card, but it should be on more bingo cards.
No. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Or just like some sort
please.
of drama
Can
with
like
the
Sasha
Obama
get a
thing.
DUI or something? Can one of them get expelled from Yale? We need a really trashy Obama reality show. Cause like I love
We do. Make them the new Kardashians.
Yes, I love seeing those girls live their lives. Like the videos of like Malia started circulating of her partying at Brown. I'm like, let the girl live. She's 20. I love how we said we weren't gonna get political, and then we got political.
It's political adjacent.
Political adjacent. Political adjacent, still some kind of heretical. Well, friend, I think we got a good episode. I think we gotta sign off.
We probably ought to.
All right.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. Do our little
wrap it
outro.
up.
Well, today I learned how to not use the TurboTax, and I'm going to venture into the world of Free Tax USA. Even though it sounds a little bit sketchy, but Logan vets it, so I trust it.
Yeah.
All right, friend.
Cool.
Well,
yeah.
Another week
Wow.
where we don't really know what
Another
we're doing,
week.
but come back next week, episode 5.
This was
Come
episode
back next
5.
week for episode 6, and maybe we'll all know what we're doing just a little bit better. But probably not, because if we did, then we wouldn't have a podcast. So maybe one day, maybe season 2, we'll figure it out. But as of now, my name is Kailee.
My name is Logan.
And we still don't know what we're doing.
See you next week.
Hope you all have a wonderful week.
Woo!
Bye, friends.
Goodbye.